Oh, hun, that's a bit close. Do you like the way you look?
No.
Is that why you're up front? Okay, this one is all about fighting and the arguments that the top fighting topics that couples have. This is Cami. Oh, I forgot to hit record. Hey, it's Cami. This is Man Frand. Let's fight. Want to fight?
Let's fight.
Let's fight. Let's fight. So we're going to be dropping a whole lot of episodes. We've been recording a whole lot of episodes, so you can find those on iTunes at 5 o'clock Central Time today on iTunes, Google Play, also manfriendpodcast.com, and even just here in the group, I'll put the links. But these are just a couple of Facebook Lives we decided to do because, you know, quarantined, which is getting good, isn't it, babe?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. We're making it through, but quarantining as a couple is quite fun.
Yeah.
But these are the top 5 issues that couples fight about and how you guys can move through them. I know with me and Man Frand, we have had to do some couples therapy, mainly because we don't get along sometimes and we have a really hard time getting through arguments. Would you agree?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I'm going to go through these issues, and I want to say from a man's perspective how you feel each of these tie into being a man and being like, because I'm not a man, you know, but you being a man, how they tie into you and your feelings about relationships. You ready?
Let's do it.
Number 1. Top 5 issues couples fight about. Number 1, free time.
I mean, I don't know. Give me an example.
Like whenever we don't have work obligations or family obligations, free time, and how we how it plays a part in our relationship.
I think it's because I like my free time sometimes, not hanging out all the time.
Yeah.
I like, as we've discussed prior, to kind of hang out and recharge by myself. So, and then you're one who likes to get out and do stuff, so I encourage you to go out with your friends, have friends over, do things like that, and I can kind of take it easy. So that's one thing. Number 2, I don't know, me and you just have different ideas of free time.
I think it's been a huge problem in our relationship in the beginning. I think we've gotten much better as we've gone through our relationship the last couple of years. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah.
That was the fakest year.
Yeah.
You don't think we've gotten better?
I think we get better. We know how to at least tolerate it more. I could say
Deal with it better, yeah. Okay, number 2 in the top 5 issues that couples fight about. What's your thoughts on money? That's the number 2 fight.
People heard a little bit about that one in the last podcast, but I mean, there could be a lot of fights about money. It depends on, for one, how you divvy up the bills. If you divvy up the bills, it could also be, if you feel you're better at managing, that you try to control the other funds, which I have done. I don't know, money's just causes a lot of issues. It can. I don't know. There's so many topics you could go down on it. But I think the main thing is each person, if you split bills, you're each responsible for what you agree to. And if that person falters on theirs, then I think that it could cause a lot of resentment. I think financials in general can cause a lot of resentment. That's my thoughts.
Yeah. Okay, next one, housework.
It can obviously cause resentment, but you're working on that, so it's gotten a lot better.
I like how all of these are the things that I have to fix.
Well, that one was. I do everything with the house.
Number 4, physical intimacy.
I got work to do on that. I mean, not like work, because I'm good. Yeah. But, I mean, sometimes, as far as the fact that stress and letting external factors and everything get into the fact that you don't probably prioritize intimacy.
Well, just like giving a hug and stuff.
Well, that goes with the personalities, and I mean, obviously, I hug and things like that, but it's not the intimacy. It's not the first thing that comes to my mind. It's
being affectionate, yeah.
Yeah, just being affectionate.
And extended family. Which is interesting because when it comes to issues that couples fight about, we don't really have that bigger issue with extended family.
No, we don't.
We have never really had much of an issue with extended family. And we're not just saying that. Like, we really, truly have done a really good job about keeping that part of things rolling smoothly. Like,
well, that was a big thing. I mean, that was a big thing in my in a previous relationship where extended family was not given the respect it needed to, and I realized that would be a priority in the next relationship that I found.
Yeah.
And it has been.
It's been really good. I think, okay, well, we don't need to go too much into that one, but the first 4, free time, money, housework, and physical intimacy, the top issues that couples fight about. So what we have learned, especially like when we've gone to therapy, and the only reason I'm talking about this is because I'm interested to hear his side, because when it comes down to some of these tools, I feel as though they make total sense, but it's really hard to put into action, right? Okay, so the new mindset. Here are some things to fix and prevent fights with your significant other. Number 1, the new mindset. How to fight better, not less. Fighting better is about discussions, not arguments. So I thought that was really interesting, because I think one of the things I learned is that it's not about changing your significant other. It's about modifying responses and modifying the way that you discuss things, right? So like a certain thing that sometimes we have had to deal with is sometimes on a Sunday you get a little bit grouchy, right? And it drives me nuts because I hate negativity. And so instead of him being not grouchy, I had to kind of explain, your grouchiness is kind of getting annoying to me. I'm going to go do my own thing, and then you have to take responsibility for the grouchiness and kind of come back, right? Can you talk a little bit to that?
Well, for one, I can be grouchy. Anyone who's been around me knows I can be grouchy with things like, sometimes I feel it's because I haven't realized that my meter for being an introvert has run out, and I need a little time to just get away and be by myself for a little bit. Not that I dislike anybody, but that is just an internal thing. I need to get me back. Yeah, to get me back on track. So I think that it's good that she can tell me. It's good that you can tell me when you're frustrated or when I'm starting to be grumpy. I prefer when you say that and leave me alone, but that doesn't always happen. But we all got a lot of work. It's really about being cognizant of your feelings and knowing what you're, knowing when you're about to hit the points where you get angry and where you're about to start resenting and stuff. And if you can hit yourself before you go to those points, and you can openly talk about it without being angry.
Very good. Okay, so also for me, it's about when we get in those arguments and he needs like time by himself. He needs to like be like, you know what, give me time until tomorrow, we can talk about this. My whole issue was I wouldn't let him do that. Well, now I'm letting him do that, and when he gives me the time for when we can reconnect, it ends up being way better. So identifying your issues. Do any of the issues fall into the top 5 fights? Most of the time, yes. Basically having the same argument, same 3 arguments over and over. So first of all, identifying the patterns under the arguments, and now indicating each partner's side of the argument. Neither is wrong, but that way you know where you stand. Because think about it. It could be, so like for example, one of our whole issue with you being grumpy, actually, when it came down to it, had to do with housework.
That was some of it, yeah.
Right? Because you were grumpy because the housework wasn't getting taken care of. Okay, next one. Localize, don't globalize. Keep small arguments compartmentalized and specific to the situation. Keep the discussion... this can help you focus on the issue and keep the discussion as just that, a discussion. Try to avoid saying you always do this, you never do this. Don't call out past arguments.
That's true.
That's something that is really, really hard to deal with, though.
Keep it a discussion. If the discussion isn't going good, then hit pause on it. Whoever hits pause needs to be the one who brings it back.
That's so good.
Well, that's what we're taught.
You did very good with that. Okay, next. Start with agreement. Ha-ha! This is all about manipulation, all right? But it's a good way to be manipulating someone. Master the art of gentleness, right? Never start with criticism. Start with agreement is the best way to avoid an argument and start a discussion. And then ending it with something like, let's try to think of a way to make this work. So say I'm really irritated at him because he won't go on a walk with me. Come in with gentleness and say something agreeable. Isn't it a nice day outside?
That doesn't work on me. It's more, see, gentleness to me is coming in and being like, listen, I know you don't want to go on a walk.
No, you've already got out of the bike ride today.
But I know you don't want to go on a walk, but it would mean a lot if. Oh, Lordy be. But just come in and acknowledge the fact that I do not feel like going on a walk and say.
Well, that's why I said a bike ride.
But I'd mean a lot if you would go on it. That doesn't mean I agree. See, the thing is, I have a thing. If you're going to come ask somebody a question, you need to be prepared for the yes and you need to be prepared for the no.
Okay.
If you're going in and you're like, well, it's yes or else we're going to have an argument, whatever the rest of the day, that's bullshit. So that's what I always say. If you don't want to hear a no, then don't ask a question. You're just telling someone what they're going to do and passing it off as a question because you're going to make them pay for it for at least 8 hours.
You're so dramatic.
It's true.
You said that like you were in an action movie.
It's true.
You're going to make him pay at least 8 hours.
It's true.
So you don't think that would work with me? Like, if I wanted you to do something, I kind of come in with, like, a real gentle way about it?
If I don't want to do something, that's not going to help me want to do it anymore.
Okay, well, I'm going to work on that and see if I can reach a resolution. And then finally, look underneath the argument. This is the hardest but most important. I have an example that I wrote out lines for us, if we could go through and see where it says you. So here is the example. Ask the question why 5 times.
Holy, you want to drive this Chinese water torch?
No, you are doing the whys.
I know, but that's Chinese water.
Okay, you ready for the script? Here we go. I'm very upset right now.
Why?
I want to go outside and go for a bike ride.
Why do you feel that way?
You are so bad at plays. Okay, it makes me feel rejuvenated and closer to you when we do things together.
Why do you not feel close to me?
Because I feel close to you doing physical activities and we haven't done anything like going for a bike ride in a while.
Why have we not?
Because you always want to back out. So it all comes down to me wanting to feel connected to Man Frand. Do you not like my example? I worked really hard
It
on
was
it.
perfect. If you'll ever use words rejuvenate.
Okay, so combining effort and activity could be the ultimate healer in this fight.
Why?
Because I said so. Okay. I really thought that you would feel enlightened and rejuvenated by that. Okay. And then, finally, acceptance. Knowing your issues and where you stand can help prevent you from having the same argument over and over. Agreeing to disagree and naming the issue can prevent arguments in the future. The more your issue is talked about, the easier and less track-filled it will be. Why?
Sometimes.
Sometimes? Okay, what's your question for me?
How many times do you feel someone should have to repeat an argument once the other person has said they heard you?
Oh, well, in the heat of the moment, probably until affinity. But honestly, I agree. That's one thing that, I've worked on and tried to work on for a while. And that's been listening when you say you hear me.
Mm-hmm.
And, it might be something that we have to bring up with old Mr. Therapist.
Alrighty.
That has been Man Frand. Oh, oops. That's been another episode of Man Frand. Bye-bye.
Bye.